Hello, I'm presenting the life of Ludwig van Beethoven in 3 parts. The first part is the secret affliction of a great composer. In 1796, when Ludwig van Beethoven was only 25, there had already been signs that all was not well with his hearing. In 1802, when Beethoven was 31 and on holiday in Heiligenstadt near Vienna, he feared that in the end he might be doomed to total deafness. His grief found its most poignant expression in a document known as the Heiligenstadt Testament, written at the time. It is in the form of a letter to his brothers, but was never sent to them. Here is part of that letter. For my brothers, Karl and Johann Beethoven, O you men who think or say that I am malevolent, stubborn, or misanthropic, how greatly do you wrong me. You do not know the secret cause which makes me seem that way to you. From childhood on, my heart and soul have been full of the tender feeling of goodwill, and I was ever inclined to accomplish great things. But think that for 6 years now I have been hopelessly afflicted, made worse by senseless physicians from year to year, deceived with hopes of improvement, finally compelled to face the prospect of a lasting malady whose cure will take years or perhaps be impossible. Though born with a fiery, active temperament, even susceptible to the diversions of social life, I was soon compelled to withdraw myself, to live life alone. If I tried to forget all this, oh, how harshly was I flung back by the doubly sad experience of my bad hearing. Yet it was impossible for me to say to people, "Speak louder, shout, for I am deaf." Ah, how could I possibly admit an infirmity in the one sense which ought to be more perfect in me than others, a sense which once I possessed in the highest perfection? Oh, I cannot do it. Therefore, forgive me when you see me draw back, when I would have gladly mingled with you. My misfortune is doubly painful to me because I am bound to be misunderstood. For me, there can be no relaxation with my fellow men, no refined conversations, no mutual exchange of ideas. I must live almost alone, like an exile. I can mix with society only as much as urgent necessity demands. If I approach near to people, a hot terror seizes upon me, and I fear being exposed to the danger that my condition might be noticed. Thus it has been during the last 6 months which I have spent in the country. My intelligent doctor almost fell in with my own present frame of mind, though sometimes I ran counter to it by giving way to my desire for companionship. But what a humiliation for me when someone standing next to me heard a flute in the distance and I heard nothing, or someone heard a shepherd singing and again I heard nothing. Such incidents drove me almost to despair. A little more of that, and I would have ended my life. It was only my art that held me back. Ah, it seemed to me impossible to leave the world until I had brought forth all that I felt was within me. So I endured this wretched existence, truly wretched, for so susceptible a body which can be thrown by a sudden change from the best condition to the very worst. Patience, they say, is what I must now choose for my guide, and I have done so. I hope my determination will remain firm to endure until it pleases the inexorable fates to break the thread. Perhaps I shall get better, perhaps not. I am ready, forced to become a philosopher already, in my 32nd year. Divine One, Thou seest my inmost soul. Thou knowest that therein dwells the love of mankind and the desire to do good. O fellow men, when at some point you read this, consider then that you have done me an injustice. Someone who has had misfortune may console himself to find a similar case to his, who despite all the limitations of nature, nevertheless did everything within his powers to become accepted among worthy artists and worthy people. In spite of his deafness, Beethoven continued to write music which he heard in his mind, and this was always successful.